What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Cannonballs podcast. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Dane Cannon. Co-hosting with me today is...
Your boy, Jake Mother Effing Bulls on the mic. 1, 2.
What's up, guys? We have a good episode for you today. We are going into our Week 6 power rankings. You know, if you guys haven't been following, we've been doing this for 5 weeks altogether. You know, it was a little rocky in the beginning, but we've kind of been getting a little bit of our traction. You know, we've kind of been dialing in a little bit, and we hope that you guys enjoy this. If you want to know where we rank your team, this isn't a record prediction. We're not predicting who's going to make playoffs, who's going to go to the Super Bowl, anything like that. This is just where we think the teams are as of right now. You know, we're going to take injuries into account, how the teams played, whether they played well, poorly, yada, yada, yada. We'll get into it in just a sec. Jake, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of my rankings are, it's not all based on record. It's, kind of more of the eye test. Some teams I do take the record into account, but I would say mainly all my rankings are based off the eye test, how they played, like Dane said, injuries, coaching, blah, blah, blah. So, if you guys are still here, please listen to the first 5 minutes. It helps out a lot. Helps us out a lot. Comment, like, subscribe, message us if you
follow
want.
our Instagram at cannonballs_podcast.
Yeah. All right, Dan, let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. This is my favorite episode.
I think the power rankings is my favorite as well, especially because, Jake and I, when we first started, we were trying to agree and try and convince each other, and then we did one power ranking, but now we do 2 power rankings, so you guys get 2 for the price of 1. So I'll start it off at 32. I have the Washington Commanders. I have them falling 2 spots in my power rankings. I have them at the 32 spot. They just haven't done enough for me, man.
I feel it. That's where I had them last week. But this is the first. I don't usually like to do this. Have a team that loses move up. Just the Panthers are number 32. They lost their coach. They lost Baker Mayfield. They played the 49ers, who arguably is the number 1 defense in the NFL. But they just look terrible, man. That's just terrible. And I think the Commanders have more talent on that team. So yeah, I got the Panthers at 32. Yeah. I got the Panthers dropping 3 spots. So at 32.
Okay. At 31.
You want to just trade off?
Yeah, let's just trade off. You can go 31 now.
All right. 31, I got the Commanders. I did move them up once. I think they played hard against the Titans. Unfortunately, Carson Wentz did throw that pick at the end of the game to seal it. But like I said, 2 seconds ago, they have a lot of weapons. It's all based on how Carson Wentz can play. So yeah, I got them at 31, moving up 1 spot, unfortunately.
Okay. At 31, I have Chicago staying put. Even though they put up a good fight against Minnesota, I think they played better than we expected. They came back and then they blew the lead again. So I don't know. I think this is the first time Chicago's offense has looked decent. And so I don't know if the sample size is enough for me to move them up more, especially because they still did lose. But, if they can put together another win and their offense look good 2 weeks in a row, I might consider moving them up a couple spots, because there are a couple teams who are looking like absolute dog shit. But yeah,
yes,
I have Chicago at 31. And at 30, this is where I have the Carolina Panthers. I have the Panthers moving down 1 spot. Like you said, they played one of the hardest teams in the NFL, if not the hardest team, in the San Francisco 49ers. But Matt Rule got fired. Baker's out. They're trying to trade away their players. So if they do trade away their players, this could be this will probably be the 32 team or 32nd ranked team, in my opinion. But yeah, I have them moving down 1 at 30.
Yeah, at 30, I got the Bears staying put. They did play the Vikings hard, like you said. But, they're still one of the worst teams in the NFL. That I still don't believe in that offense. That's really it. It's the offense. The defensive side of the ball is okay for the Bears, but that offense, they definitely need to get Justin Fields some help. At 29, moving up 2 spots to get their first win of the season, I got the Houston Texans. They put, I mean, I wouldn't say they manhandled the Jags, but they definitely, played them hard. They beat them. It was a 13-6 game. They have a tough defense. And then they have a nice little rookie running back in Dameon Pierce who can run the ball good. So, yeah, I got the Texans at 29.
So I considered putting the Texans here and only moving them up because I had Houston originally at 32, so I would have moved them up 3 spots. But
real quick,
based off of...
Sorry, they moved up 2 spots for me. I don't know if I said that.
Okay. I don't know if you did either. But yeah, so I thought about putting them here, but because of how these 2 other teams performed, I had to put them above them. At 29 for me, I have Detroit. You get a goose egg. You're getting put down here. I know that they're dealing with some injuries. I don't know if Amon-Ra St. Brown was on a snap count. I didn't pay attention to that. I would have to look that up. But, they are still missing DeAndre Swift, and that's significant. I get that. But this defense is getting torched by every team. This defense is not good. Jared Goff had a abysmal game. I mean, you score 0 points in any football game, you're doing bad. So I had to move Detroit down here. I have them moving down 1 spot in my power rankings.
This is 29, correct?
29, yes.
Okay.
So does that mean I'm at 28?
Yes, sir.
At 28, this is the other team that I had moving down. I had Pittsburgh. I have Pittsburgh at 28. I know they played.
I also have.
Do you have them at 28 as well?
But staying put.
Nice. Okay, so I had them dropping down 2 spots. Mostly just I know they played the Bills. The Bills are the best team in the NFL, in my opinion. It's just baptism by fire. I get that. You throw out a rookie quarterback out there, Kenny Pickett, ask him to do whatever he can, throws for 54 attempts, gets over 300 yards, but it was bad. It was really bad. This team is 1-4. This could be Mike Tomlin's first losing season, but because of how badly they got blown out, I think 40-3. So I had to move them down more than Houston.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. The Steelers. I mean, Kenny Pickett, I don't think played too terribly. I mean, he did get picked off a couple times, but I mean, it was his first starting game. They're missing a bunch of pieces on defense. It's not looking hot. I was never high on the Steelers to begin with in the offseason. So, I mean, they're kind of just showing their true colors. And it's really, I mean, based on the quarterback play. If Kenny Pickett can have a Mac Jones kind of year, the Steelers could turn their season around, but I just don't see that happening at this point. At 27, I have the aforementioned Lions. I just had them staying put. They did get, stomped out by the Patriots, but I think their previous weeks they've looked better than all the teams listed before them. They've looked better than the Steelers. They look better than the Texans. They look better than the Bears, Commanders, Panthers, all of these teams. So that's why I didn't move them below them. But they need to start stepping their game up because, especially after, a goose egg, you can't get goose egg and have me have faith in you for too long. So they do have weapons. I think they'll turn it around once, DeAndre Swift comes back healthy, once Amon-Ra is, fully 100% healthy. I think they'll be fine, but they need to tighten up that defense for sure.
I agree 100%. So I can see why you had them there. At 27, this is where I put Houston. I had them moving up 5 spots. I think that their defense has played tough every game except against the Chargers. I don't know why that was the one game because I feel like they've played some significant teams. But yeah, Houston's defense stepped up, and Dameon Pierce, I feel like, is finally getting rolling. Davis Mills, he has weapons that he can throw it to. So I don't know, man. I think that they just performed better than Detroit and Pittsburgh, which is why I had them moving up above them. I don't necessarily think that they would beat those teams, but based off of right now, both Detroit and Pittsburgh are on a losing streak, and Houston is technically on a winning streak. A game of one, but they won. And, it was a good defensive performance. They've looked good in other games. They're scrappy. They fight and claw for every win that they can get. So, I like Houston. I have them moving up 5 spots to 27.
They also have a better record. They're 1-1-3, while the Lions and Steelers are 1-4.
1-4. True. There you go. Thank you. At 26, I have the Seattle Seahawks moving down 1 spot for me. I think that they're playing better than this spot, but because they did lose, I had to move them down in my power rankings. I think that their offense is great. Don't get me wrong. I really like their offense. Geno Smith is playing well, but this defense is going to hold them back. Their defense is bad, and they're getting torched by almost every offense that they play against. So I have Seattle down here at 26, moving down 1 spot.
All right. At 26, moving down 5 spots, I got the Falcons. They have fight in them. I'm not like too disappointed in them. The first 3 quarters were, but they were playing a hard defense in Tampa Bay. But they came back and, fought and almost tried to win the game. They're missing some of their pieces, Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson, but I think this team can be, a 5-6 win team. But yeah, I got them moving down at 26. At 25, I got the Raiders staying put. And the reason I got them staying put is they played a hard team. They played a very good Kansas City Chiefs team, and they played good against them. I would have liked them not to, give up that lead, but it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, that's pretty hard to do. I'm glad they were within 1 point of winning that game. So, they're 1-4, but like I said in yesterday's episode, they're the best 1-4 team I know. They'll be fine. I hope they don't win 1 game. I don't see that happening. I don't see them winning less than 7, honestly, at this point. I don't see them making playoffs either, though, at this point. 1-4, you have to, especially in the AFC West, you have to go on a streak. And that's pretty hard to do. So, yeah, I got them at 25, the Raiders.
I have the Raiders at 25 as well. I have them moving down 2 spots in my power ranking, and it's basically for all the same reasons. You had this game, you were up 17, and you blow it. It is against the Kansas City Chiefs, and a lot of teams do that. Trust me, as a Chargers fan, I know all about that. But, you are 1-4. It is tough. They are the best 1-4 team I've probably ever seen. I think that they can still be very competitive. They might, very slim chance, but they might be able to sneak into a playoff spot if they, keep performing offensively how they have been recently. If Josh Jacobs keeps performing the way he is, if Devontae Adams is utilized in the deep pass attack and Derek Carr can get him the ball, I like this offense. I think their defense makes plays when they need to. So I think the Raiders will be fine moving forward, but they're going to have to go on a winning streak. And like Jake said, against the AFC West opponents, specifically mostly the Chargers and the Chiefs right now, it'll be tough. Moving on to 24, I have the Denver Broncos now. I have them dropping 6 spots.
Hell yeah, dude.
I dropped them 6 spots because that was the worst offensive performance I've seen from a $230 million quarterback. It was atrocious. And I know he's got an injury going on with the lat muscle or whatever he partially tore, whatever it is, but he's just not reading the field correctly. And Denver's defense is legit. Don't get me wrong. I like the defense, but this offense is bad. It is bad. Yeah. You lose your best running back. The other running back fumbles the ball whenever he has an opportunity to, and the quarterback play is just bad. So I have Denver moving down 6 spots to 24.
A well-deserved ranking, Dane. I still don't have the balls to drop them that low, but it's a well-deserved ranking. They honestly, if you wanted to, you could put them at 28. That's how freaking bad they're playing. That's how bad they look. The Lions look better than them on offense, if I'm being honest. But at 24, dropping 8 spots, when you give the team that hasn't won their first win and you play as badly as you did on Sunday, you're going to drop this much. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars at 24. right when I started believing in this team, maybe they can make a run and win the AFC South. They have just too bad. I mean, last week against the Eagles, they're a good team. They're 5-0 for a reason. So, but they still played bad against them. They didn't even put up much of a fight. And then against the Texans, God, I mean, the Texans aren't that good, man. The Texans are not that good. And if you're going to show me that you're improving, you got to be able to beat the bottom tier of these teams. So at 24, I got the Jags. At 23, I got the Colts staying put. Like you said about the Broncos, they played disgustingly bad. So I'm not going to move them up for winning. Even though they did win, good job. A win's a win. But just like the Broncos, that offense looks bad. They can't really get much going, even with, supposedly one of the best running backs in the NFL. He was hurt last week,
and Naheem Hines did get injured as well, so they were on their third string running back, but the offensive line is what's holding them back. Yeah,
so real quick, on the offensive line, this was a top 5 unit last year, top 10 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the hell happened. And it's shocking because, Quentin Nelson is the best guard in the NFL, hands down. And he's the tackle. I don't remember his name, but the offensive line should be good. And and they're not good, man. So maybe it's that rookie that they picked up or whatever. But they need to figure it out. So I got them at 23.
At 23, this is where I have Atlanta. I had them moving down one spot. They did play one of the toughest defenses in Tampa Bay, and they almost came back and won this game. I think that, if it was based off of just the first 3 quarters, I would have moved them down more because of how poorly they played. But they did have somewhat of a comeback. They did start sparking that run and pass game. Mariota looked better. So I have them moving down one spot to 23. At 22, I have New Orleans dropping 2 spots in my power rankings. I have New Orleans here. I have them moving up 2 in my power rankings. Excuse me. They did win. The reason I only moved them up 2, though, is because this defense, who I thought was one of the better defenses in the NFL, got torched. And, Seattle's done it to a bunch of teams, but one of the top tier defenses in San Francisco shut them out, shut them down. So I wasn't impressed with the defense. I know that they still have players that they're missing on offense, but they did get Kamara back. You do lose Chris Olave, but it was a good win. It was a hard-fought battle, so I'm only going to move them up 2, though, because I think their defense should have outperformed what they did.
This is 22, right?
Yes.
We're at 22?
Yes.
All right, so at 22.
Good.
No, you're good. At 22, dropping 3 spots, I got the Cleveland Browns. They played the Chargers hard. It's just Jacoby Brissett, man. He can win you some games. He can lose you some games. And it's better if you don't put the game in his hand, I think. Stick to what you're good with or good at. You have probably the best running back tandem in the NFL. Stick to it. Nick Chubb is ridiculous. He is ridiculous.
He might be the best running back in the NFL when it's all said and done this year.
I think so far this year, he is the best running back in the NFL. Derrick Henry has had his moments. Jonathan Taylor hasn't done anything. This last game by Josh Jacobs was really good, but can he repeat that? I don't know. But definitely I think Nick Chubb is so far the best running back of the 2022 season. But they played the Chargers hard, but I don't know. I got him dropping. So, and then at 21, dropping 3 spots, I got the Seahawks. They played the Saints hard. And I continue, even when they lose, I continue, besides when they played the 49ers, I continue to be impressed by the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith has just been making people eat their words. DK Metcalf, he's DK Metcalf. Tyler Lockett is just balling. And unfortunately, Rashad Penny did get hurt, so that's unfortunate. But hopefully, the rookie can step up in his place.
I think Kenneth Walker will be fine. I mean, if you watch that game, he busted out a 60-yard run like it was nothing, and he did that at Michigan State. And I think he was at Wake Forest before that? He was at some. Anyway, when he went to Michigan State, he looked great. I think it was Wake Forest before that, and he still looked good. But yeah, I think he'll be fine in the NFL. I think he'll take Rashad Penny's place and just ball the fuck out.
Who you got at 21?
At 21, this is where I have Cleveland. I have Cleveland dropping 2 spots in my power ranking, basically for the same reason that you said. You have the best running back tandem in the NFL. Utilize them more. Stefanski gets away from the run when it's most important. I think Jacoby Brissett, he threw a couple balls that he probably wish he had back. He threw a costly interception in the end zone, kind of overthrew some people or put it out of reach where some of the receivers couldn't get it, but he also threw some good balls. Cleveland's running defense looked bad also. I mean, the worst running attack in the NFL rushed for more yards than the best running back or the best rushing attack. Jesus Christ, I can't talk right now in the NFL. So that's saying something, Cleveland needs to work on the rushing defense. At 20, this is where I have Indianapolis. I have them staying put as well in my power rankings. It wasn't a pretty win, but it was a win. So I can't move them down in my opinion, but I can't move them up because it was bad.
Yeah. At 20, I got the Patriots moving up 4 spots. They freaking stomped the Lions out, man. The Lions, they have some players hurt, but I don't think they had the same players hurt last week, and they freaking put up a lot of points against Seattle. But the Patriots have always had a good defense. I don't know if they're an elite top 10 defense or a top 5 defense or whatever. But they've had a good defense since I can remember, since probably Bill Belichick has been a coach there. So yeah, they just put the hurting on the Lions, and yeah, they got a good win.
Agreed.
Do I go next again?
Yep.
Or did I just go? All right. So at 19. Yeah, at 19, I got the Cardinals dropping 2 spots. I didn't want to drop them too much because they did play the Eagles. But they still they've played slow to me. I don't know. I'm looking at my rankings. I might want to switch the Broncos with them because the Broncos look way worse than the Cardinals. But I'll just keep it here. The Cardinals, they at times they look really good, and then at times they just look god awful. But hopefully things will change when D-Hop comes. So we will see. But yeah, I got them at 19.
At 19, I have the New York Jets. I have them moving up 8 spots in my power rankings. They are 3-2. I think this was the most dominant win they've had, let alone in a while. Let alone win in a while. But it was against a hobbled offense from Miami that's missing 2 quarterbacks. A receiver goes down. That's one of their best receivers. Either way, it was a good performance. I know Tyreek Hill played pretty much the entire game, but quarterback. Go ahead.
I will say this: for as hurt as the offense was, what happened to that defense? That defense
didn't show up. I know Xavier Howard was out, so he wasn't playing, which is significant. But still, Breece Hall made Miami look like fools. So. I like New York. I like what they're doing. They're 3-2. So who knows? Maybe Robert Saleh can be like Brian Dable and just change that franchise around. So, New York Jets up 8 spots at 19 for me. At 18, this is where I have the Cardinals. I have them only dropping 1 spot. It was a tough loss. I think that they had the potential to possibly win that game. There were a couple, mental mistakes by Kyler Murray at the end of the game. The kicker could have tied it up, but missed it, shanked it right. They played Philly tough. They played really tough. Their defense stepped up this week. I think their offense is finally getting Hollywood Brown going. Rondale Moore had a couple good plays where he was able to take nothing and make it something. I also think Zach Ertz was utilized correctly. James Conner had a couple good runs. Benjamin looked good. I think as soon as D-Hop gets back, if they can go 3-3, they will be better than the 18th ranked team. But I have them at 18 right now, moving down one spot.
Yeah, so it's funny. We have the Cardinals and the Jets swapped. So at 18, I got the Jets moving up 4 spots. It was, like you said, it was a dominant win against a injured, but still, I still think Miami's a good team. Where do I have them? Oh, okay. That was a good win for the Jets. That's something that will give that team confidence. And they have players. Like, they're young, but they have players, man, on both sides of the ball. So
agreed.
I just think I think it's unfortunate for them because they're in the Bills division and the Dolphins division. I still think, when healthy, I still think they're the third best team in that division.
Agreed.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
The
think
Patriots,
that in a couple of years, it could change. Like with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, if Zach Wilson can be a confident quarterback, that offense can be dangerous, especially with Breece Hall and that offensive line. We'll see.
Yeah, and it's I want to say they're the third best team, but like the Patriots, man, they've almost won. They almost beat the Packers. They destroyed the Lions. I mean, it's the Lions, but I don't know, man. That's a kind of turning into a pretty difficult division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So at 17, moving up, I don't know why. This is kind of just how it fell for my rankings, but moving up 10 spots, I got the Saints. They just, Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, I think they finally got their offense clicking. And it's only going to get better with Jameis and, a healthy Chris Olave and a healthy Michael Thomas, hopefully. But like you said, I would like that Saints defense to be a little bit more dominant. I still believe in the talent there, but I think honestly this game was just a credit to the Seahawks because I think the Seahawks are very slept on. I slept on them hella, but they have that's a good offense. So yeah, I got them at 17, Saints.
Okay. At 17, this is where I have Jacksonville. I have them moving down 3 spots. It was an ugly loss. Don't get me wrong. The offense didn't perform. I kept them from dropping too far down because that defense is still legit. Jacksonville's defense has been playing lights out. They shut out the Colts. They blew out the Chargers, and they still only held the Texans at 13 points. I know the Texans aren't a high-powered offense by any means, but their defense is playing well. So I didn't drop them too far. I think that they could have a bounce-back week. I just hope that they don't continue on this losing streak because you lose to Philly, you lose to Houston. If they lose again, okay, maybe this is the real Jacksonville Jaguars. Maybe they had a couple lucky weeks. Maybe teams had off weeks when they did get their wins. I don't think that's the case, but we'll see. If it goes to 3 losses in a row, I will have to drop them down significantly. But I have the middle of the pack at 17 right now. At 16, I have the Los Angeles Rams. I have them dropping 5 spots. This offense is bad.
Yep.
It's bad right now. I think they can turn it around, but they're going to have to get their running game going, and they're going to have to figure out their offensive line. Their offensive line is not gelling. It's throwing Stafford off, and Stafford will put the ball in harm's way regardless, but you throw pressure in his face constantly, and he's known to throw interceptions. He fumbled the ball. This defense can't keep them in games because their offense can't even get anything going. You lock down Cooper Kupp, you stop this offense, basically, is what it's come to. So I have the Rams at 16.
At 16, I got the Broncos. They dropped 3 spots in my rankings. Like you said earlier, atrocious. I want, like I said, I don't have the balls to move them into the 20s, even though they deserve it. They look terrible, and if I had another chance, I might move some teams around. I might bring the Cardinals up here and bring the Broncos back, or maybe the Jets. I don't know. Even the Seahawks look better. It's just the Seahawks have that terrible defense. It's like they're the complete opposite. But you know what? You can't win games if you don't score points. So,
true that.
But the Broncos, they suck right now. They're terrible. I don't know if they'll figure it out. I mean, it's the first month. How long does it take to figure it out?
Not only that, if Russell Wilson's injury worsens, they're screwed. They're screwed.
Yeah. Who's their backup?
I don't know, but they might need to get on the phone and try and get their boy back from Seattle.
Drew Lock, baby. So yeah, the Broncos suck. I got them at 16. And then at 15, dropping 7 spots, I got the Rams, like you said.
Okay. All right. You're dropping them around the same area as me.
Yeah, they look bad. They look really, really bad. And again, they played 2 elite defenses in a row. But even so, man, you got to be able to. They'd even put up. Did they score a touchdown? Okay, they scored 1 touchdown against the Cowboys.
I think Kupp was the only one who had a touchdown.
So they scored 1 touchdown in 8 quarters of football. That's pathetic from a reigning Super Bowl champion. You're supposedly have one of the best young offensive-minded head coaches. Figure it out. Like, put some blockers. If your line is that bad,
you got to start chipping. You got to start chipping with the
chip
tight
blocks.
ends.
Leave 2 running backs there, and then only send out 2 wide receivers. Like, if you have to, like, you'll do anything to protect your franchise quarterback. I mean,
yeah, you got to start running some like 12-man personnel or whatever the hell the formation's called.
Yeah, and then they're so one-dimensional. Oh, throw it to Kupp, and it works sort of. Like, he gets open and he gets his yards, but are they winning games? No. And they have no run game to speak of. So, yeah, the Rams look bad. Yeah, and then I think it's your turn now, right?
Yeah, that was 15 for you, correct?
Yeah.
So 15 for me, this is where I have New England. I actually have New England moving up 6 spots. Yeah, I have them moving up significantly because even without their starting quarterback, their offense seems like they're doing better. I mean, it is against Detroit, don't get me wrong, but Harris goes out and Ramondre Stevenson has a monster game. Now, I'm really pissed that I traded him away to fucking Louis in fantasy. Give him back, Louis. You can have Tannehill back. Tannehill hasn't done anything. But, yeah, Ramondre Stevenson looks good. Jacoby Myers is looking good. And that defense shut out a high-powered Detroit offense. I know that they're missing DeAndre Swift, but come on, man. Like, Goff has been playing really well with the pieces that he's had every week until now, and they get shut out goose egg 29-0. New England, you can't count out Bill Belichick. So I got them here moving up 6 spots to 15. At 14, I have the Chargers. I only have them moving up 1 spot. I wish I could move them up higher, but like we talked about when we were recapping week 5, there was luck that was involved with this win. Like, this game, I think whoever had possession at the end of the game should have won this game, and it was coming down to that. Like, if the Chargers would have had the ball at the end of the game, I think they would have won it if they were down. Cleveland should have won this because they had an opportunity to make the field goal or to gain more yards and then kick an easier field goal, and they fucked it up. I'm saying the F word more than usual, and I'm sorry, but, this defense for the Chargers, Brandon Staley had the number 1 defense with the Rams, and it has not been the case for the Chargers by any means. Like, this defense is not that good. It performed well the first 2 weeks. It held both the Raiders and the Chiefs to under like 25 or 27 points, which are both 2 high-powered offenses, but they're getting torched on the ground. I am happy about the offense. I think they look good. The running attack's finally getting going, so Justin Herbert doesn't have to do as much. So I like what I'm seeing. I hope they can continue winning games. A win's a win, but it wasn't the prettiest win, so I'm only moving them up 1 to 14.
At 14, I got the Miami Dolphins dropping 4 spots. It's just this one is just based on. I mean, even last week I dropped them significantly because of the Tua injury, and now I dropped them even more because Teddy Bridgewater's hurt. They're down to their 3rd string quarterback. Tyreek's hurt. This one is just solely based on the fact that they are not healthy. I still think when healthy, they could be a potential Super Bowl contender. I think that's a real possibility if they can stay healthy. But they're not, and health is wealth in sports, and they don't have it. So I don't know. They're just if they lose any more pieces, they're just going to keep sliding. And they just got blown out by the Jets, and they didn't get beat. They got blown out by the Jets. So I don't know. I hope they can get healthy, but yeah, I got them dropping there at 14. At 13, I got another team dropping significantly. I got the Green Bay Packers at 13, dropping 9 spots.
I like it.
They were my fourth ranked team, and then they put up that freaking shit show of a game. And like we talked about it was okay in the first half, but I don't know. There's just something about that offense that doesn't look elite at all.
Yeah,
like,
they don't have Devontae Adams, and it shows. You lose that caliber of a receiver, and then it shows on the field. Like, it looks like a very average offense.
Yeah. Like, nothing about that offense, like, fears me. Not even Aaron Rodgers. Like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't even look good. He doesn't look like, what we've grown up to, or what we come accustomed to watching. So I'm sure they'll figure it out, but that's 2 really ugly games in the first 5 weeks for the Packers. So I had to drop them.
Okay. At 13, this is where I have the Giants. I have them moving up 3 spots in my power ranking. They're 4-1.
Nice.
I like it. I can't.
I love it.
I can't put them in my top 10 yet. They did beat a good Green Bay team, or what I thought was a good Green Bay team. I am gonna put the London aspect of it somewhat into play because London games can always have like weird outcomes. London's strange. Teams travel differently. And I'm not saying that London's the reason the Giants won by any means. They outperformed the Packers in every way, shape, and form, especially in the second half. But I can't put them in my top 10 yet. I just have so many question marks. It just seems so unlikely that Daniel Jones, leading all these second and third string wide receivers, is beating teams. They're 4-1. I think Saquon is mostly to, kind of congratulate for this team being 4-1, along with Brian Dable. I think Brian Dable is coaching this team well. Their defense is solid. I will give the Giants credit on defense. I still have question marks on the offense other than Saquon and Daniel.
Yeah. But, what year is this for Daniel Jones? Is this his 5th year? That can't be right.
I think it's his 4th.
Okay. So, I mean,
I want to say it's his 4th year.
I'll say this real quick about the Giants. Maybe he's a late bloomer.
Good.
And, and maybe I think we need to give, like you said, more credit to Dable and Saquon. Dable, because this dude, Daniel Jones, hasn't had a legit coach for his entire career. And, sometimes that's all it takes because back in the day, Alex Smith was like a bust. He was the number 1 overall draft pick for the 49ers. He was terrible. And as soon as he gets a good coach in Jim Harbaugh, he takes the team to the NFC Championship. And then he gets a fat contract with the Kansas City Chiefs and balls out for the Kansas City Chiefs for, 5 years or whatever it was. So sometimes it's a player needs a coach and a coach needs players. It's they both need each other. So I like the Giants one. Is it my turn?
I believe so.
That was 13, right?
Yeah. Who was your 13th team?
Packers.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so it's me. Okay. So 13, I said the Giants. At 12, I have the Titans. I have them moving up 1 spot.
Me too.
Perfect. You have them at 12 as well. I just couldn't move them up any more than 1 spot because they beat the worst team in my opinion.
I got them moving up 3 spots. Yeah, I mean, they did play the Commanders, and it was kind of a ugly game for them. But I think the reason I'm just having them in my top 14, and top 14 is playoff teams, is just because I still think they're a playoff team. I mean, they have one of the best running backs. Tannehill is, he's not a chump. I don't think he's bad. I don't think Malik Willis was ever going to beat him out for a starting quarterback job unless he got hurt. So
agreed.
And
this defense is still injured on the defensive line. So like when those players come back, they'll look a lot better. But they need Treylon Burks back healthy because I think that they were starting to kind of build that rapport between Tannehill and him. But they are kind of one-dimensional to a certain extent with Derrick Henry. but they're utilizing him in the passing game now, which adds another dimension to that, which is awesome to see.
Which is scary.
It is very scary. You see a 245-pound man.
Is that how much he weighs?
Dude, he's got to be like 245.
Golly, dude.
I'm going to look at this while you talk about your 11th ranked team.
All right, so we just talked about them. I got the Giants at 11, moving up 9 spots. Yeah, they beat what we think or what we thought was a good Green Bay team. And that defense is stepping up. Saquon, if he can keep this up, man. You know what? I said Nick Chubb was the best running back. I think Saquon has been close to one of the best running backs this year.
Dude, could you imagine Nick Chubb and Saquon on the same team for Cleveland? That would be insane.
It could have happened because before this year, Saquon had 2 years in a row of being hurt, and they might have not picked him up.
True.
But no, yeah, we need to give credit to Brian Dable. Brian Bagel. So yeah, he's definitely turning this team around, and I'm not mad about it. So, and that division, man, besides the Commanders, it's a tough division. So,
okay, really quick, I'm going to interrupt you. Guess how much he weighs? I said 245.
265.
247. So
jeez Louise.
6'3", 247. Sorry for interrupting.
6'3"?
6'3".
Shit. Golly. Yeah, that's a big boy. And then for my number 10th team, moving up 4 spots, I got the Cowboys. Dominant win against the reigning Super Bowl champs. Yeah, that defense is going to carry them, or is carrying them. And they're only going to get better with Dak Prescott coming back. And I mean, they don't look that bad with Cooper Rush. So, I mean, the run game is going. They have CeeDee Lamb. He's balling out. But I think it's mainly just that defense and that rushing attack. If it's not, you're not going to score a whole lot of points, with just defense and rushing, but you can win a lot of games like that. You can control the clock. You can freaking break people's will. So yeah, I got the Cowboys at 10.
Who was your 11th ranked team?
The Giants.
The Giants. Okay. I don't think I said my 11th ranked team.
Oh, my fault.
No, you're good. You're good. I'll just do 2. So my 11th ranked team is Cincinnati. I have them dropping 1 spot. I had them at 10 before. I have them dropping 1 because they did lose to Baltimore. The offense did not meet expectations that they did last year because they absolutely torched this Baltimore defense. But, Baltimore played well, and Cincinnati, they still look good, but they definitely didn't have the success that they did last year, so I have them moving down 1. At 10, this is where I have Miami. I have them dropping 4 spots. I think that they are still a good team. Like you said earlier, injuries are going to play a factor, and they could really drop a lot lower, especially if they lose again. But I have them at 10. I still think that they're a top 10 unit when healthy. I think that they may be getting Tua back hopefully soon. If not, he may be out the entire year. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Who knows how long Tyreek's going to be out, but you still have Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert stepping up. That defense is healthy or is good when Xavier Howard's out there. So I think they'll be okay. I think they can still win games even without Tua, but they're going to need someone to step up. But yeah, I have them at 10.
Sorry for the confusion, folks. But at 9, I got the Chargers moving up 3 spots. I still believe in the Chargers offense anyways. I just really like Justin Herbert. He just can do things that, most of the quarterbacks in the NFL can't. He's elite.
He's just a good guy too.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's a good person. He's got weapons on that team. He's got, the only thing I would say that is a little questionable about this team, which is the defense. I think they can figure it out. There's too much talent on the defense to not get it figured out. But I just have way more faith in that offense right now. They look good, man. They look good, man. I like the Chargers' offense.
Well, howdy, boy. I like that. I like to hear people think more highly of my team than myself because I know that I can be overly critical, but it's my team. At 9, this is where I have Green Bay. I have Green Bay dropping 5 spots. I think that was an ugly loss to the New York Giants. I still think at the end of the day, they're a better team than the Giants. It's so hard to say, man. They may not be, but I think Matt LaFleur should really utilize A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones more. I feel like sometimes they get away from the run, kind of like Stefanski does in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. And granted, Aaron Rodgers is a much better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett, but he doesn't have that great of receivers this year. Romeo Doubs could be. Alan Lazard could be. Watson can't because he's constantly injured. Cobb's old man River out there freaking running around like still making plays. I don't get it, but Green Bay's defense stepped up in the first half, and then I don't know what happened in the second half. They got torched. So I don't know, man. Green Bay's tough because I think they have potential to be a top 5 team in the NFL, but I had to move them out of the top 5 to my number 9, dropping them 5 spots because of that. And at 8, I'm keeping Minnesota put. They almost lost to the Bears. Case in point, I'm not moving them up or down. They got to win, but they don't deserve to move up for barely beating the Bears.
At number 8, I got the Bengals dropping 1 spot. Yeah, they did okay. They played okay against the Ravens. I'm still waiting for that 2021 Bengals team to that at least their offense to shine. It still hasn't really I don't know. It's still in first gear right now. The reason I don't drop them so much is because they have personnel on that team that could be a top ranked a top ranked offense. And their defense is pretty decent. So I got them at dropping 1 spot. I just can't bring them below certain teams. And then at 7, moving up 4 spots, I got the Bucks. It seems like their offense
here at 7 as well.
Hey, it seems like their offense is finally clicking. Who would have thought
all their kids and wife?
Yeah, who would have thought all their players, when healthy, the offense starts clicking. And I don't even think. Well, no, he did take a couple more hits, but no, I think the Bucks will be fine. Seven. I got that.
The Bucks defense is legit. Tom Brady had a good game. Mike Evans had a good game. Leonard Fournette. I still wish they would put up more points, but I am happy with. They look better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have them at 7 as well. At 6, I have Dallas. I have Dallas moving up 6 spots. This defense is lights out. This is the second best defense, in my opinion, in the NFL. Micah Parsons, dude, I cannot talk about this man enough. He is a game changer. Trayvon Diggs, elite. This defense is amazing. And Cooper Rush didn't even have to do that much because he can rely on the offense, the running backs. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott getting things going. If he wanted, Cooper Rush could do things offensively. He's not a slouch. He's a good secondary quarterback. He could be a starter probably for Washington. I think he might even be able to beat Carson Wentz out. Dallas is 4-1 with a backup quarterback in there. Their defense is holding it down. Offense doing enough. I like Dallas. I think with Dak Prescott, this offense could definitely improve. So we'll see.
Right on. Yeah, number 6, I got the Vikings moving up 3 spots. It was an ugly win, but a win's a win. And they're 4-1. They have so many weapons on that team on both sides of the ball. It's hard not to like the Vikings. I think they're going to improve. I mean, you can't always beat teams, blow them out. You can't always do that, especially division rivals. so I'm going to give them a little slack. Yeah, but I like the Vikings. I think they're good.
Okay. What do you got at 5?
At 5, moving up one spot, I got the Ravens.
I got Baltimore here as well. I have them moving up 2 spots in mine.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it was a good win against a good Bengals team. Lamar Jackson's just crazy. He's a crazy quarterback. He's a crazy running back. He's a good running back. He's a good
crazy running back with an arm that can throw.
Yeah. He's amazing, man. I love watching him play. And Duvernay is stepping up. Hopefully Rashad Bateman can come back healthy. Mark Andrews is, top 5 tight end. And the defense stepped up against the Bengals. So they had a good win against a division opponent.
Big time. Agreed. I mean, those are all the reasons I have them up here. I think, Lamar Jackson is just a different breed of quarterback. I mean, he's a different kind of threat because he is one of the fastest players out on the field whenever he's out there. So I like Baltimore here. At 4, I have San Francisco. I have San Francisco moving in 1 spot in my power rankings. I don't know how much the injuries are going to affect them, but this defense is still lights out. This offense is performing well. The more Jimmy G's out there, the better he's going to be. He had an entire offseason of not really doing anything, no preseason, nothing. So I think that they're going to be fine. Debo's good. Jeff Wilson is basically doing exactly what Elijah Mitchell did before he got injured. So this team's legit, man. Like Jake said in a previous episode, this depth is legit. I know that they're going to miss Emmanuel Mosley, but hopefully Nick Bosa's not out for any amount of time. Hopefully it's nothing serious. And if he is out, hopefully it's only for a couple games and maybe misses the Chargers game for some other reason.
Not going to happen. So the 49ers, I'll say this, they've already been without several starters since the beginning of the season. And they're playing that good without, Trent Williams, without Elijah Mitchell, without Jimmy Ward, without their 2 starting defensive tackles. So I think, without their starting outside linebacker. So they'll be fine. They have players on all levels of the ball. They have so much depth. They have great coaching. It sucks because I'm 99% sure D'Amico Ryans is going to be a head coach next year. And he's a great defensive coordinator. The 49ers will be fine, especially if their offense can play like they did especially if their offense can play every week like they did against the Panthers. I mean, I love everything they're doing right now, or at least last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks. The week against the Broncos, it was just fucking terrible.
Throw that game out. That game out.
Yeah, I'll throw that and the Bears game out. But, this is what the 49ers do. They have a couple bad games, and then they'll go on a streak. So, I got the 49ers moving up at 4. So this is going to be a little different. So, we obviously have the same 3 teams in the top 3. But for me, I don't know what you did, but I had the Chiefs dropping down 1 spot at number 3.
Chiefs at number 3 as well, but I have them staying put.
Oh, see, I had them at 2nd or at 2 because they had a really dominant win last week, and then this week they didn't have much of a dominant win. Kind of the top 4, I'm going based off a AP poll kind of vibe. So and more of a dominant win. The Bills had a way more dominant win. They had a way easier opponent. And then I got the Eagles at 1. So
that's funny. I have the Eagles at 2 now. I had the Eagles at 1 prior, but I had them dropping because they almost potentially could have lost the game to the Cardinals, and I just thought Buffalo destroyed Pittsburgh. So I had Buffalo because of how dominant they look going up to number 1, Philly going to 2, Kansas City staying put at 3. Yeah,
I kept the Eagles at 1 just because they're undefeated. I can't drop them yet until they lose a game. Then I'll drop them at 2. But because like you said earlier, like I think the Bills are still better than the Eagles. But I mean they're undefeated. So, but yeah, that was our power rankings, folks. That was fun.
Yep. We love them. We hope you guys enjoyed listening to them. Hopefully we didn't destroy your team too hard, unless you're a Washington Commanders, Carolina team. Or Denver.
Your team sucked.
We also destroyed you, or at least I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in to the Cannonballs podcast. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. If you guys aren't already, go ahead, give us a follow on our Instagram at Cannonballs with the Z_podcast. Jake, anything else you want to say?
Yeah. Hope you guys like listening to this, watching it, whatever. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us. Blah, 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 blah. Good luck to your teams. Oh, wait, we have another episode, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for listening. And as always, peace.